The number one fear people have about retirement, it's no surprise, is of running out of money. And the reason I think everybody's afraid of running out of money is because they're doing their retirement planning totally wrong. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to dispel this fear, how to have a more confident retirement, and how to plan correctly so that you never run out of money. Let's get into it right now. I'm not going to give you some get rich quick scheme. That's not what we do on this channel. This is the Retirement Mentality channel. It's a place where I want to change your mentality about retirement. And today I want to do that by changing the way most people do their retirement planning and how they come up with this, like I said before, a mythical number that if you save up to this number, everything's going to be fine. But somehow everybody's still afraid they're going to run out of money. That's why you have the one more year syndrome. Everybody goes, well, everybody says, maybe I'll just work one more year and then that'll give me some padding just in case there's a problem, or maybe this isn't quite enough, and the goalpost keeps on moving, and that's what keeps people from retiring. It's why very few people retire early, which is the biggest goal we have on this channel, is to help you guys retire early. I'm not selling courses. I'm not selling digital downloads. I don't have a group you can join. You can hit the little button down there if you get value out of my video, and you can like give me a tip or join the channel, or I think you can give a thank you. Nobody's ever done it before, but it'd be nice if somebody did. But I'm not selling you guys anything. I'm trying to just give you my practical real life experience that I've been through. I retired at 48. I moved down to the Virgin Islands, lived down there for a couple of years. I'm back in Florida, and now I just bought a house in Spain, and we're gonna be spending half our years in Spain and half of the year in Florida. So I'm telling you guys, you know, I've already done it. There's two types of YouTubers out there. The people you go on the journey with, who are trying to reach financial independence and retire early, and you go on the journey and you go through the ups and downs with them because you're doing it too. And there's those people who have already done it and want to tell you how to do it and what to expect when you get there. So that's what this video is about, so that you can figure out to get your numbers right. The reason people run out of money is because I think the biggest reason is that they plan to hit $1 million, then I'm going to retire. Well, the problem with that, most people think $1 million is the magic number, but if you're just going to do that and then do a 4% safe withdrawal rate, that's $40,000 pre-tax money, and that's probably not enough to live off of. People don't think, most people who are smart, like you watching this channel, know the 4% rule. You can do the math and figure that out. But I think a lot of people just pick a number, 500,000, a million, 2 million, whatever the number is, and when they hit that number, they didn't do enough reverse engineering. If I have $1 million and a 4% safe withdrawal rate is 40,000 and my bills are 60,000, there's a big disconnect there. There's a big problem there. You know, here at my house in Florida, I've done my budget before. It cost me, well, not this house, the house I just sold before we bought the house in Spain, the house that I was living in for the past 10 years, my budget was about $72,000. I had a small mortgage of like 100. I think when we sold the house, I paid them off the mortgage of like 160,000 we had left on that mortgage. But my taxes and my insurance here in Florida are a big killer. My taxes were $3,000 a year, and my insurance was over $6,000 a year. And I also had flood insurance for $1,000 a year. So that's over $10,000 I was paying just for the taxes and the insurance on that house, even if I had paid off the mortgage. So it's the inflation, and it's the run up of these, like 5 years ago, my homeowner's insurance on that house was like, it was less than half. It was like $2,800, and then 5 years later it was at $6,200. So it's kind of these unknown variables, you know, that insurance and taxes don't just go up at an inflation rate. And this 8% inflation that we had a year or so ago was an anomaly also. You have to be able to weather the storm of all the anomalies, the insurance, the taxes, the inflation, the tariffs, the whatever it's going to be next year, the price of wood, you know, whatever the problem in the world is going to be. An oil refinery blows up and all of a sudden everything costs more in the whole world. So, but I have some ideas on how we can take that magic mythical number away and actually plan a retirement plan so you'll never run out of money. So I Googled the average budget of a retiree couple in the US, and it's $6,000 per year, which is $6,000 a month, which is $72,000 a year, which is right exactly my number that it cost me to live in that house that we just sold here in Florida. So if you need $6,000 a month, you multiply that by 12, that's $72,000 per year, and then you multiply that by 25, that gives you 1.8 million. You divide 1.8 million by 0.04, the 4% withdrawal rate, gives you that $6,000 a month to live on. So if you want to have a safe withdrawal rate and have that $72,000 per year, you need $1.8 million. Okay, but the problem is, are you going to change your lifestyle after retirement? Like for us, we're buying a house and we're going to spend half our year in Spain and half our year here. And maybe as time goes on, we'll spend more time in Spain over there. We also tried out living in the Caribbean for a couple of years. That turned out to be a little bit too expensive. So if you're going to stay in the same house you've been living in for the past 30 years while you worked, and you're going to retire and you're going to stay in that house because you're going to be close to grandkids or whatever the case may be, then you have a pretty good idea of what your budget is going to look like, and you know how much you spend now. And it's easier to figure out, like maybe you don't need 1.8 million because your $72,000 per year included 10% going into your retirement savings account, so you could take that off of the top. Maybe you're going to pay off of the mortgage before you retire, so you can take the mortgage out of your budget. So, maybe you need less than you think, and then you can retire earlier, which is, as we said, that's the whole point of this game on this channel. But if you're going to change your lifestyle, the trick is to figure out how much your new lifestyle is going to cost. A lot of people are going to play golf more when they retire. That's an expensive sport. A lot of people are going to go deep sea fishing more. That gas costs a lot of money. So trying to figure out what your life is going to look like, and then calculating your retirement expenses. I don't like to call it a budget, because I think when people do a future budget, they just come up with some dream number that doesn't mean anything. But if you can actually look at your life in retirement and figure out the hobbies you're going to do, are you going to move somewhere more expensive? Maybe you want to move from West Virginia and you want to be on the beach and you come to Florida. Well, it's probably going to be more expensive in Florida than it is in West Virginia. So your costs are going to go up. Or maybe vice versa. You want to go from Florida and you want to move to Spain, like I'm doing, where my costs are going to get cut in about half. So maybe I worked too long and I have too much money, but I'll try to figure out a way to spend some of it when I get to Spain. So the trick isn't, the point of this video is that to never run out of money is to not just pick an arbitrary number and then retire when you hit that number. Is to try to figure out what your spending is really going to look like in your retirement, and then calculate out what that is. See, for me, I don't have a big bundle of money in a Vanguard account. I have rental properties. This is one of my rental properties here. You can see the giant Connect 4 and the cornhole, and there's a pool. That's the edge of the pool right there. So I have rental properties that pay for my my lifestyle. So I worked until I had enough rental properties, and I calculated the rental income to pay for the lifestyle that my wife and I need to not work. So, and the good thing about the rental properties is the rents tend to go up with inflation. This one is a short-term rental, so maybe not so much. A lot of these short-term rentals are doing worse and worse every year because there's more and more competition. So we'll see how this short-term rental game plays out. We did just turn one of our short-term rentals into a long-term rental, so we're slowly going to probably do more of that. So put a comment down there. Let me know if you think your life is going to get more expensive in retirement or less expensive in retirement. I think mine is about to finally, when we moved to the Caribbean, it got a lot more expensive. And now that we're going to be spending more time in Europe, I think it's going to get a lot less expensive, which is good since houses like this one are making less money in my retirement. So let me know down below if you have a magic number, or if you think this reverse engineering style to come up with what your life will cost in retirement and then figuring out how to pay for it, if that's a smarter idea. Because I think that not only will keep you from running out of money, I think it will also keep you from working too long. If you like this concept and this idea, please hit the like button down there. Please leave me a comment that says that you like this comment, or that you're going to reverse engineer, or that you are going to move to another country. Leave me whatever comments down below, because the new YouTube algorithm doesn't just favor people clicking on the video. Now it really boosts out the videos that have engagement, that have likes, that have comments, and that you watch all the way to the end. So hopefully you made it this far. If you did, I thank you very much. And I'm going to do a video follow-up to this one of why $1 million isn't enough to retire. We touched on it here a little bit, but I'm going to break it out a little bit more and show some statistics of how much people in their 40s and 50s and 60s already have saved, and what you might need to do if you're going to fall short. So it's not going to be here yet, but eventually it'll be over here if you see this video like a week later. In the meantime, the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like this video. Go watch it.